Hey, welcome back to the video, guys. I'm here today with Alexander. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
We've been
too.
chatting on the phone for quite a long time and emailing, and I've been trying to find you a decent health insurance in Thailand, and I think I've found one with Alexander today. So we're going to go through to your office and ask you some questions.
Sounds
and
good.
Really about Pacific Cross Insurance in
I look forward
Thailand.
to it. I look forward to it.
Okay, let's go and have a look through
Please.
into the offices here. It's a really big setup in Sathorn, this is, and there's a huge office here with, looks like hundreds of workers. How many workers have we got here?
Over 100.
Over 100 workers. Okay, right, let's go through to the office.
Sounds good.
Okay, Alexander, let's ask you some questions about the health insurance in Thailand. So are public hospitals as good as the private hospitals here in Thailand?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm happy to reassure people that the quality of care, especially as it pertains to doctors, is going to be relatively the same between both public and private hospitals. Reason being, the doctors actually, a lot of them will work for a few days out the week in a public hospital and a few days out of the week in a private hospital. So what this means is you're going to be getting very, I would say, relatively standard level of care, at least as far as the doctors go, right? Now, of course, private hospitals, they're going to be better in a few key areas. The waiting times is going to be way lower, right? So if you have something urgent, if you have something, that you want to get checked out as quickly as possible, private hospital is going to be the best choice, of course. As far as the comfort, the general, I guess, customer experience, private hospitals are also going to be better. They're going to speak much better English. Facilities are going to be nicer, newer, cleaner, just as a general rule of thumb.
Okay, well, just tell us a little bit about Pacific Cross, because I don't know much about it.
Right.
Okay, so
Okay.
tell us a little bit, fill us in on Pacific Cross and how long has it been in business here?
Right, so Pacific Cross has been in business in Thailand for over 40 years at this point. We have different branches. Within Thailand, we have them in Pattaya and now in Phuket, actually recently opened. But our head office is actually located here in Bangkok, right in the heart of Sathorn. Now we also have overseas branches in Vietnam, Philippines, etc. And our head office is in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Okay. How many years has it been in business? Did you
Pacific
say?
Cross within Thailand for over 40 years at this point.
40 years.
40
Oh,
years,
okay,
yeah.
obviously,
40.
Yeah, 40. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are the entry level plans for retirees thinking about coming over to Thailand and expats? What's
Yeah.
kind of the entry plan, entry level kind of price?
Yeah. So I also kind of want to clear up a misconception that some people might have. There is no really policy for Thai people and policy for expats, right? Because anyone, be it Thai, be it expat, whomever, they can purchase any plan they wish, right? What's going to separate the policies rather is particularly immigration requirements, and as a Thai individual, you're going to maybe need less coverage just because you have that government insurance policy, so you have some coverage in that sense. Whilst as a foreigner, you unfortunately don't have that same benefit, right? So entry level plans, they start with the standard and premier plan, right? Coverage is going to be fairly low, especially if you want to use a private hospital. So when would you want to use these plans? Ideally, it would be if you're a younger individual, right? Let's say in your 20s or 30s. So if typically as you get older, treatment in general is just going to become more expensive in of itself, right? However, if you're younger, it's going to be a bit cheaper. Also, the kind of risks you're exposed to, the treatment for those risks is also going to be lower, right? So that would be more appropriate perhaps if you're younger, but also if you have an existing insurance policy and you just want to purchase something as a top-up just to ensure that you're, maybe if the group insurance you currently have with your employer or maybe from overseas, if you just want to have that extra bit of coverage, then a lower quote-unquote entry-level plan would be sufficient, right? Otherwise, you're going to run into the situation where you are going to be paying for, especially more complicated, treatments and procedures. You're going to be paying for a good portion of that out of pocket, right? So I would say that's an unfortunate situation that generally you'd want to avoid, right?
Okay, thanks, Alexander. How does Pacific Cross compare with some of the other insurance companies?
Yeah, so we're not going to have the most affordable policy. We're also not going to have the most global policy. There are other providers that may have a better offering as far as overseas coverages goes. However, if you want a policy that has a very stable premium, especially over the long term, excellent no claims discounts, just a stable overall premium outlook, free hospital choice for over 500 hospitals, primarily a Thailand-based policy, right? If Thailand's going to be your primary, primarily going to stay in Thailand, if you're going to do just some, maybe short 2-3 week traveling overseas, then I would say Pacific Cross is definitely a place you want to look at, right? Just for the sake of the, just the stability that it offers and the guarantee. Yeah.
Okay, what about, do you insure just foreigners or expats, or do you insure Thais living here too?
Yeah, we insure everyone, right?
Okay.
Be it if you're Thai, maybe you would want to be treated at a private hospital. We have many individuals such as that. If you're a expat and you have a Thai family, totally okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're very accommodating, right? Really, anyone can get a policy.
Okay, can you walk us through some of the most popular plan for someone? Because a lot of my guys listening to this are going to be 50 to 60, 65. Walk through like a popular plan for someone like coming over here who wants coverage for that age and the price.
Yeah. So actually, interestingly, earlier this year we did like a research into our policyholders, and for this specific age group, the most common and popular policies are what's called the Premier Plus and the Maxima, right? Now that is the 3 and 5 million baht respectively in terms of coverage, right? Now the reason they're popular is starting with the Premier Plus, the 3 million one, right? It's accepted for all visa immigration requirements as far as insurance goes. So just from that sense, it's the starting point. But also the level of coverage I find, and it's the one I personally recommend, just because the level of coverage is going to be very adequate for any hospital, be it Bumrunga, Samitibej, Payatai, etc. It's going to be sufficient for getting treated there, and importantly, sufficient to get treated there in full, right? To avoid having to pay out of pocket. And we do have higher level coverage plans. Yes, I mentioned 3 and 5 million for the Premier Plus and Maximum. We have policies that go up to 50 million, right? But at least from my perspective, if you're looking to get good value, that's where, and the statistics show it, right? Because those are our most popular plans and the ones that people tend to renew the most, right? So what that means is they don't really change away from it. They rather just keep it as is.
Okay, what about a lot of my guys are coming over here on the retirement visa? So what's great coverage and meets the requirements of the retirement visa? What kind of plan could they go on that covers this?
Yeah, so it depends on the specific immigration requirements. It can vary, especially depending on the maybe the immigration officer or the embassy that you're going to. But just a general rule of thumb is, you either want to have the 400,000 IPD and 40,000 OPD coverage, or you're going to want the $100,000 requirement, right, for COVID and medical insurance. So that's going to be another requirement that comes up often. And a newer one is definitely the LTR, right, which is going to be the $50,000 in coverage, which of course we have policies to meet all those requirements.
Okay, and how do foreigners coming here qualify for health insurance in Thailand? Can tourists come here and just qualify for health insurance?
Of course. So the insurance is going to be the easy part, right? The easy thing to apply for. It's the visa that has the more hurdles, more time consuming, right, to apply for. But yeah, of course, foreigners, they very often purchase the policy whilst overseas, and they need to submit it to the immigration authorities to get it with their visa application. So they need it before their actual visa is approved. As such, by definition, these people are applying with no visa. So really, there is no such requirement, or really not much of a requirement to get a policy with us. You just have to submit an application form, passport. That's really it.
Okay, a lot of my viewers are quite keen on retiring in Thailand, particularly Hua Hin and Pattaya.
Yeah.
So can they just, with the policy, walk into a hospital and get treatment without paying up front? How does it work?
Yeah, so we have a direct billing network with over 500 hospitals all throughout Thailand. We have hospitals, of course, in Hua Hin, Pattaya, really even in, not the most popular places, so other provinces, of course, Bangkok, right, a number of hospitals here. So the process to actually claim is really straightforward. You just have to bring the insurance card, which is a card we provide you once you purchase a policy. Bring some form of identification, ideally a passport. You can even bring a photo of it, right? And as long as you actually go with the network, you don't actually have to pay anything out of pocket, right? It's just going to be, just show them this, and the hospital and the insurance provider will coordinate.
That's like the way they file a claim. Is that the way they file a claim?
Yeah, that's correct.
Same. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Cool. Okay, moving on to something else a little bit different. So if someone is diagnosed with cancer or has a stroke, what kind of support or coverage can they expect on the policies?
Yeah, so this is what we would define as catastrophic care, right? I think it's the kind of things that people fear the most, and for good reason, of course. Not only is it very dangerous, life-threatening, but it's also very expensive to treat, right? Cancer, stroke, very expensive to treat. So that is something that we cover, of course, right? The only caveat being that should you have a pre-existing condition, then of course in that case it may not be covered, right? That's why our medical team is there to just review your application and then come to you with a formal offer. Now, as far as cancer goes, should you have a history of cancer, our approach is that any reoccurrence or remission of that cancer, if that were to occur again, then that would not be covered, right? However, if you were to have a history of one cancer and then unfortunately later down the line develop another cancer whilst being a policyholder with us, we would cover that new developed cancer, right? Just so long as it's not tied to the initial one. So of course, I think that's some of the best peace of mind that we can offer, is that these kinds of very serious catastrophic incidents, they're going to be covered.
Okay, thanks for that. Okay, can retirees start with a basic plan and then upgrade later if they change their health changes? If their health changes,
yeah, their requirements. Yeah. That would be a bit more difficult to go from a basic plan to a higher coverage plan, right? Especially if you have outstanding claims. What I would suggest, what is much easier, is just to come with a high deductible, right? So high deductible, especially maybe when you first arrive, you're a bit younger, then you'll be happy to pay it out of pocket, just because you're probably not going to use the policy in the first place. Another option would be to remove the outpatient, right? So if you remove the outpatient, that gives you another 20% discount, right? So that stacks with the deductible just to really bring the premium down. And upon renewal, you can add the deductible, add the outpatient back on, remove the deductible, lower the deductible. So there's a lot of options just to make the policy cheaper at the beginning, and then change it, modify it as the years go on, and as your requirements change.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the maximum age you can insure a person? Because some of my guys are it's quite old. Some of them over 70 plus sometimes.
Yeah. So we're pretty accommodating. Our people can apply with us. New applicants up to 75 years old. Now, as far as renewing a policy, it's going to be a lifetime renewability up to the age of 99.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So I say so far because we haven't actually had someone go past 99, right? But I hope one of your viewers is the first one. Yeah, but it's going to be a guaranteed lifetime renewability up to the age of 99.
Okay, awesome. Okay, do you offer coverage for chronic conditions and, really importantly, pre-existing conditions?
Yeah. So most medical insurance providers, especially if they're going to be a medically underwritten plan, which is our main line of policies which we offer, they're not going to cover pre-existing conditions, right? That's just going to be unfortunately the standard, right? Now, we do offer a policy that does cover pre-existing conditions, though up to a limit, right? So it's not going to be the general. We have like I mentioned, the 3 million baht, 5 million baht plan. That would cover you for any kind of chronic condition you develop during the policy, up to 3 million, up to 5 million, respectively. However, with the policy that covers pre-existing conditions, you're going to have a smaller cap on that, right? So it's going to be either 200,000 or 300,000 Thai baht, respectively. So there are some options for sure to get that covered, though I would say, just to manage expectations, it's not going to be like a full coverage that you might want, or might perhaps some people have in their home country with maybe their national insurance, right? That's just going to be close to impossible here in Thailand.
Okay, so if someone watching this today and wants to get covered today, what's the easiest way to get started then, Alex?
Yeah, easiest way, I believe my email will be down in the description. Just send me an email. You can schedule a call with me. I'll be happy to discuss. If you're in Bangkok, feel free to drop by the office. We can meet wherever you'd like, and just reach out and I'll be happy to help.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Alexander.
Yep.
Or Alex, can you call you Alex?
Okay, Alex, yeah.
Okay.
Call me Alex.
Thanks for your time today.
Pleasure.
Okay.
I'm happy to help anyone that needs insurance. And
Awesome.
from what I understand, quite a number of people do. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you on the next video,
Bye.
guys. Take it easy.